Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about the presidential election. Specifically, we're going to talk about some students reacting to the many silly things that former Vice President Joseph Biden has been saying lately. Not just gaffes either. They try to just call him gaffes like he just misspoke. No, like basically going senile, having this big cognitive decline live on stage. He's done this multiple times recently and it's really getting out of hand. So we're going to go over an article and video about it. The first comes from this page. It says, he shouldn't be leading the country. Young Americans react to video of Biden brain freezes. So this is one of those videos where interviewer goes to a college. They also happen to go to my alma mater, the University of Florida, as you can see by this Florida gear right here. A little depressing when you see some of their responses, but they actually come out on the right side in this video. You see, after they're introduced to some of Biden's gaffes, they realize that he's really not prepared. He's not that capable. And we're going to see that in this video. We're going to see them kind of realize that over time. So here's the interview in the video. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Campus reform, we're asking students at the University of Florida what they think about the presidential debates. Are they concerned about Joe Biden's cognitive health? Let's find out. With the upcoming presidential debate on Tuesday, who do you think is going to win, Trump or Biden?
I guess Biden, because he's probably going to make better points.
While I am very much an avid Joe Biden supporter, I'm very nervous to see what he's like without a script.
I think that Biden probably has a more professional side, so I think that in that aspect he might win.
So this is funny. This is before the debate. We've already gone through it now and seen that a lot of people think Trump won. Trump was more aggressive. Biden wasn't necessarily professional. He was just like laid back and he laughed a couple times when he didn't know what to say. The other thing worth mentioning here is the masks. We're at a university. College is trying to get back on schedule. And the thing that I find funny, this is really a side note, but the person's using this little tiny microphone that has like no stand or stick or anything. Like she's getting ridiculously close. Like she should just put that on a pole or something. Like I don't know why they don't have a normal microphone. This is like a clip on and she's pointing it at people. It's kind of besides the point, but it really makes the whole thing look a little weird to me. It's just funny. But let's get back on the topic. You know, they're talking about Biden having better points, being more professional. They're just obviously falling into the whole meme that like Trump is this big bombastic, you know, unprofessional jerk. And I could see that angle. I don't agree with it, but I could see that especially with the way the media portrays things and takes his quotes out of context. The way he comes off as just, you know, louder and stronger and confident. He's just an alpha. He's like a bull in a china shop sometimes, but not really in a bad way. It's like a good way. That's what you want your president to be. You don't want like this weak old man like Biden who could barely stand up. You want like a strong, aggressive dude who's going to defend you till the end of the times. And that's what Trump would do.
There's questions about Biden's cognitive health with the debates, his ability to participate in these debates, and if he's elected president to run the country. What do you think of this?
I feel like Biden's perfectly capable.
I think a lot of them are overblown. However, I do think there is some concern about how like his cognitive abilities.
If we're talking about mental health, I feel like Trump is just as much.
Very much so, which is why I'm glad that he picked Kamala Harris. She seems like she'd be a good president once the man steps down from.
So this guy's already admitting that Biden is not going to make it. So you're basically electing Kamala, which is not a good candidate. She is not a good alternative. She is like someone they're trying to sneak in. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Basically, Kamala's career was she slept her way to the top in California. She never earned a job in her life. She's been this political pawn who basically pretended to be black. She's like Indian and from the Caribbean, and her ancestors were slaveholders, but somehow she tries to pretend she's African American now, which she isn't, and she's some kind of woke victim, which she isn't. She's this rich, pampered, you know, socialite from California, from San Francisco. She's got an all-white family. Like she has nothing to do with the hood or the black culture. And on top of that, she's not being elected here. She should run for president. Actually, she did run for president and she dropped out before there was any ballots cast because she's just unlikable. And the fact that this guy here in the video, this Florida guy, you know, I respect him for being a Gator fan. Like I said, that's my team, but he's not too bright and he's admitting something that people really shouldn't. He doesn't realize it sounds bad to say that Biden's not going to make it. Like, how long is he going to make it then? 1 year, 2 years? This is a 4-year office term. Like, someone that can't make it 4 years shouldn't even be running. That's the real point.
Supposed dementia, I guess.
Do you think he's going to step down?
Hopefully.
So you're going to vote for him, you know, with the hopes that he does step down?
Yeah, I think so.
So you're not concerned about like his cognitive health at all?
Not really.
I think that it's a factor.
Being over 80 is obviously going to be a difficult task because you never know like what his mental health is at. But also Trump, you have to take into account, is also he's like 70 something. So
Trump's also kind of like a little weird in the head, so
So that's just not a good response. They're saying in response to Biden being old and senile, they're like, well, Trump is crazy too. It's like, no, you shouldn't be voting for anyone that's crazy. I don't agree that Trump is messed up in the head at all, but if that's your thinking, you can't just say, hey, oh, my candidate's incompetent, but so is the other candidate. It's like, no, that's not a good reason to vote for someone. And the fact that the follow-up on that first guy from the beginning of this section was like saying, yeah, that's what people are doing. They're voting for Biden. They think he's going to step down because of dementia. It's like insane. You don't elect someone if you think they're going to not make it through that term. He's got a 4-year term that he's running for. If he can't make it, like the guy said, he's going to be over 80. He's only about 78 now, but in 2 years, he'll be 80. The last 2 years of his term will be an 80-year-old man who could barely stand up and walk and do a campaign. If he can't campaign, then how can he run the country? How can he handle all that stress? It's going to be harder from here on out. So people just need to consider that.
I'll show you a video. It's a compilation of some things that Biden has said, and I just want to get your reaction to it, okay?
That saves billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of $2.3 billion worth of, $500 billion in savings. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. I just can't figure the guy. It's like I don't know. It's like watching a yo-yo. I shouldn't have said it that way. It's like watching.
It feels that way. I want to ask.
We choose you.
So there's some good clips already. That news reporter there, I believe I remember that clip. It was like MSNBC trying to back him up. And she said she understood what he said when he described it as a yo-yo. Even Biden realized I shouldn't have said it like that because it doesn't make sense. I mean, the guy is clearly out of it. This compilation, admittedly, it's putting a lot of clips together and makes it look worse. But these are true quotes. These aren't like fake videos. This isn't fully out of context. This is stuff he messed up, and you don't really need the context. You could tell, for example, in the first bit, he couldn't get the number right, talking about oil or something, and the details of that aren't really as interesting or as necessary as the fact that he can't even get it out. He's like 20 million, 200 million, oil, gas, blah, 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 blah. He just can't do it. And then he gets into these interviews like with the yo-yo thing and all this other stuff. I mean, hopefully these kids realize this is really, really a bad look.
Unity over division. We choose science over fiction. We choose truth over facts. Because we cannot get reelected. We cannot win this reelection. We can only reelect Donald Trump.
So what was your reaction to that video?
That was kind of brutal. I'm not surprised because he is 80 plus. He's going to be 80 plus soon.
I mean, they are kind of funny, not gonna lie, but I think that I was watching a video earlier and it was like Trump essentially doing the same thing.
I don't know. I thought the video was funny. I felt like Biden didn't know what he was saying at all.
Are you concerned about?
Okay, I hate this other response. So the last guy was fine. It is funny. It's fine to say it's funny, but the girl just acts like Trump did the same thing. They keep doing that. Like that's what they did previously. They said Trump was a little crazy and senile too, and now they're saying Trump has these kinds of gaffes. He doesn't. Trump has great speeches. He goes on for hours and hours at his rallies, at his press conferences. He's completely coherent. I'm sure he's made mistakes before. Don't get me wrong. Everyone who's public spoke before has missaid something or, gotten a fact wrong or maybe stuttered on a word or something like that. That totally happens. And I'm sure Trump has some examples of it, but it's nowhere near this bad. This is every day for Biden. And unless you have another compilation, unless you have backup for that, you're just wishing it away. You're just wishing, hey, no, Biden is just as bad as Trump. Trump's just as bad. They're just saying that. And it's just not true. It's not provable. It's not the same ballpark at all.
Maybe he's camera shy or something, which, I mean, in that case, it's kind of this is a bad, job for him, but.
I mean, what do you expect with a president that's 80 years old? I probably stutter more than him, and I'm 18, so. I don't really like seeing a president that is so poorly spoken.
He didn't know, the facts, or he got, stumbled up and, stuff.
I feel like Trump also makes a couple mistakes. He might not stutter, but he also says things that might not be favorable with the crowd, so.
So do you think based on that video, he should be, leading this country?
Based on that video, no, I would say he shouldn't be leading the country.
Okay, so there's the first answer, not be leading the country. Trump doesn't have videos like that. The other thing I thought that was interesting was, yeah, one of those kids said they're 18. It's hard to really notice, like, honestly, like I thought they'd just be like in their 20s or something, but these are young college students, like 18 to 22. This is a good insight into their minds, into how people are thinking at that age. These people are able to vote. You know, they have authority. They're adults now. They're officially adults, even though I would say 18 is still pretty young. It's basically still a kid in most parts, especially in this day and age where kids are coddled more than ever and they hardly ever move out. But these kids are in college. They're at one of the best universities in the country. Like UF is super prestigious. It's definitely the best school in the state of Florida. And yeah, they're getting their minds changed. They're open to interpretation and to ideas and to new information. And a lot of these people were all leading Biden. I'm not seeing any pro-Trump people besides maybe the host, but she's not showing any bias. She's just doing her thing. She's just giving them back and questions and propositions. She's being very straightforward, which is great. And that's why I think this is winning them over. We're seeing them kind of come to terms and see that, yeah, Biden isn't fit. He shouldn't be leading the country. He shouldn't be camera shy. He should be able to perform. I mean, that's the main thing that these presidents and world leaders do. They're made to be the representative of the country. They have to do speeches and make policies and propose things and do all that stuff. So that's like a big, big qualification. And if Biden can't pull it off, I can see why these guys are turning on him.
Hey there, my name is Hannah Catherine Smith, and I'm with Campus Reform.
So that about wraps it up. That was the last clip, and I think it's a good place to end it too. We can see that those Biden clips are damning him. They are affecting people's opinions in real time. Clearly, those guys hadn't seen that, so I think they're definitely in some kind of bubble. That's what reminds me of it here at the end, because I've seen most of those clips before. I'm familiar with all this. We've covered it before. We've had videos on certain bits in there, and to see this compilation seems so new to these students is what really should worry you. It should show you that the media is controlling this election. They're using propaganda tactics. They're controlling big tech platforms like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. All these places have deep, deep ties to the Democratic Party. They're shunning and hiding these kinds of videos from the youth, from people that might hang out in more liberal circles. So to see them get red pilled on this video in real time is certainly entertaining. And I predict a lot more people will get this kind of red pill leading up to the election. We still have over a month until then. So the election's coming soon. I think this is going to happen more and more over the next coming weeks. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Also hit that like button to get this video shared. Subscribe if you're new and hit the bell for notifications too. Until next time, have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow.